Welcome guys and girls to a brand new video. This one's going to be how to survive large lobbies on Jump Showdown. So yes, when there's a massive crowd of large lobbies, these are going to be tips and tricks to help you to survive as long as physically possible. That way you'll be in with a running chance of getting your crowds, and you've also got to be careful of the grabbers as well at the same time. So tip number one, keep your eyes on the crowd, okay? Now the reason you need to keep your eyes on the crowd is you want to be on the platforms that looks like it has more players on the side, because the way the RNG works, as you can see me jump across right there, the way the RNG basically works is the tiles that are more likely to go down are going to be on the side with less players on. So you can see those two just got knocked out through that theory right now. You ready? 3, 2, 1. And they can't go absolutely anywhere. The next tip I can give you is using the inside of the actual platform, spinning around and holding your hands out, okay? Now you don't want to hold your hands out consistently, but you do want to face the players that are looking at you as well at the same time. Now the reason we actually face the players is to give them a fair warning that if they try the grab game, we are down for that and we will literally take them out as well. That way you are least likely to get messed with as well at the same time. Some pro players will actually ignore this, so bearing in mind that they will still grab you, so be very careful about that as well. You do want to put as much distance between you and other players as physically possible, and you want to keep eyes on movement towards you. So anybody seems to be coming towards you for no reason or moving in strange ways, bearing in mind they might be going for the grabs on you as well at the same time. So you do need to keep your eyes open. The next part that we're actually going to talk about is we're going to talk about the fixes on Jump Showdown. So you can actually jump on the crack now and you won't get knocked over from that. You can also stand still, but I don't recommend standing still. The reason being is if you stand still prone, you're just spamming your spacebar and you're not actually focusing on the sync-ups of the beams, okay? So you can see as the beam comes towards me, I'm going to go backwards and do what we call a pre-jump as well. Now if you pay attention to the Oliver, now this Oliver skin is making movements towards me, so I'm just keeping eyes on him, making sure that he's not actually panicking and going for the grab plays. You will find when players do struggle in these large lobbies that they will make a play towards you in an effort to get the crown, because obviously they do not want to lose the crown, which is fair enough. Okay, so you can see that the actual goblin, we seem to be able to trust him. We've got enough distance between him, so if it does make a move, we will be ready for it. And we've actually got a prime position on him as well, because we can just double back and grab him from behind if he tries anything. Right, so this is going to be the first large lobby example. It's going to be a bit of a lengthy video for you guys and girls because I wanted to show you the full examples, that way you can get a real feel for the actual gameplay as well at the same time. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe, hit a like and pull a comment in the pinned comments and let me know if this tutorial did help you. Okay. So you can see that the Oliver was struggling all that time. So what I'm actually going to do now is your next tip. I took a bit of a risk there, but I wanted to pull as much distance between the other player and myself as possible. That way we can give him fair warning that we're going to play a fair game and we're going to try and time it out. Unfortunately, nobody ever seems to be able to time it out. It's just one of those things. Next up, we're moving on to a 16-man Jump Showdown. Okay. So again, I'm using the inside. Now what I like to do in these large lobbies is I do like to be at the front, but I also like to be on the one side where I'm able to come backwards, okay? So you can see that tile's going down there, so this is a very good position. We're just going to let that guy jump across, it makes no difference. We might as well not try and grief him, otherwise that will come back to haunt us. So if we tried to stop him from actually jumping across, what he'd do then is he'd get a position behind us and he'd go for the grabs. So these are the two tiles that are up, so we actually want to stick with the crowd. We do not want to go to that other tile because chances are that's going to go down. You see how the RNG works right now? Now I'm using the inside because I've got pretty decent space at the moment, so we're just praying that the sync-ups favour us as well at the same time. Sometimes you will get those odd sync-ups where you're forced into that crowd. We just need to wait for the lobby to thin out to begin with, okay? So you can see people falling over and stuff like that, so you want to keep wiggling right and left. That way if somebody does fall over into your feet, they don't actually take you down with them, okay? Now luckily the beams won't be fast enough to take you out at the minute, but if you do fall over right in front of the beam, you'll actually get dragged off the edge of the map, which you'll see happen to a couple of the players in the moment. Right, so this is a bad sync up, so we're forced backwards. Just being careful because this boxer is the one that's getting in my way. If you pay attention to the gold boxer, he's actually almost griefing me without intentionally griefing me, if that makes sense. Okay, so again, we're just going right to the corner. We have to keep going backwards because of the sync-ups and the rotations of the beams. When the beams are coming quite close, if you can't get underneath them, then you want to go backwards. The reason being is if you go for, say, like the very tight jumps, I mean, obviously good players can do the tight jumps like myself, for example. But what will happen is if you go for an under beam strat where you jump over the beam, you actually risk flying yourself off the front edge as well, especially when you're so close. Okay, so the lobby's thinning down now. When it gets down to the 3-4 players, you do want to always make sure you are keeping eyes on the enemy's movements. Keep eyes on the hands as well, so if you pay attention to the Sonic, for example. Okay? So we're just staying away from him, keeping eyes. Unfortunately, we were forced a bit towards the Sonic there, and we messed him up, and that was actually my fault. Sometimes you will make the odd one a mistake where you actually do fall down. And the next example, we're going into a 15-man lobby now. Okay, so again, just regular jump. Don't start any beef with anybody if you don't need to. Holding my hands out. Now holding your hands out is actually a very effective tactic because it means less people will mess with you because they think you're going to be the one that's going to be the grabber. Alternatively, what might happen is you might get somebody who is very confident and will still go for the grab despite you having the hands out and do what we call a kamikaze move. You can see the pigeons using the same tactic at the minute. So we're not even going to mess with any of them. We're just holding our hands out. This guy for some reason keeps coming towards me. I don't think he knows what he's doing. So if you pay attention to the actual jelly bean with the yellow face at the minute, black shoes, red costume on the inside, right behind the Viking right now. So again, holding my hands up, letting the lobby know, you grab me, I'll grab you. Now you can actually make those jumps, you don't need to panic about falling over at that part because the speed of the beam is not fast enough to take you out as you fall over. Sorry about that, I've got dry throat now. Okay, so we are moving on. We just put a little grab on him to hopefully coax him to get away from us, and unfortunately he got taken out. We didn't actually take him out, he took himself out there. So yeah, when you are in these large lobbies, the main important rule is never panic, keep calm. Okay? You want to always make sure that if you are, say, going backwards and doing a pre-jump forward, that you're not pre-jumping forward into the direction of another player. Because what will happen on that one is if, for example, they lose their footing and you hit their footing, that will knock you over as well and it'll make you do like a barrel run. When this beam is this sort of speed, it will actually take you out. Okay, you can see I recover from that one, but that was an example of what I was talking about right there. Sometimes it will happen, it happens to the best of people. Okay, so we're almost down to the 2 people. The Viking seems to be struggling. There we go. Okay, so again, separate your distance, because what some people will do is if they are panicking, they will start making movements towards you and they will go for the 50-50 coin flip. If they go for the 50-50 coin flip, it either means they're going to win or you're going to win. It's just random chance. Sometimes it's dependent on the desync, sometimes it's dependent on the lag input as well. So dependent on, say, like internet connection, etc. So a player that is lagging may also end up lagging behind, and that'll actually work to their advantage as well. So again, we do the pre-jumps. We're just being careful because this green goblin seems to be looking at us quite a lot. For some reason he's looking at us a hell of a lot, which is going to be the downfall. When the beams are this fast, this is the next pro tip for this sort of lobby, you do not want to look at the player behind you. You want to be focused on those beams at all times. Because if you start looking at the player behind you in fear that they're going to grab you, for example, you're going to take your attention off the actual jumps and you're going to mistime something. Okay, as you can see like there. The next lobby that we're moving into is a 16-man jump showdown. So again, we're just using exactly the same tactics. So I like to help people to get more crowns, guys and girls, so hopefully I can improve your gameplays as well at the same time. Show you that you don't always have to grab on jump showdown. This one is just a survival video for the large lobbies. But what we do want to talk about as well while we are doing this video is grabbing. Okay? So you will get lobbies, for example, especially short lobbies where grabbers are more existent. So what we're going to end up doing is we're going to do a separate tutorial on how to survive grabbing, etc. and stuff like that. Basically cat and mouse, chase and prey sort of game. Again, we move over to the 2 tiles because more players are on this side, which means that side's definitely going to go down. Those 2 make the mistake, but they do make it over. I just sort of push and bully my way through to the front there, and I'm going to claim this corner part. By claiming this corner part, what you're actually doing there is you're forcing the rest of the players to be in a crowd. Now when they're in a crowd, what's going to happen as well is if one of them gets taken from the front and they mistime a jump, they're going to get slingshotted into the crowd, and that's going to create sort of like a boomerang effect. So in effect, that could take out, what, 2 to 5 players, for example, just in one person missing a jump. Which is why we stick to the inside. Sometimes we are forced to go backwards and do a pre-jump, but we're not doing it to mess anybody up. Okay, we took the risk there because the beam isn't fast enough. If the beam is fast enough, you do not want to do that. So whatever you do, don't copy my movement there. Ooh, even I'm actually struggling on this one. So I've been knocked over a few times, but again, your most important rule of Jump Showdown is basically not panicking. The moment you panic, the moment you get nervous, your hands start shaking, your hands get sweaty and stuff like that, just keep calm, keep your composure. Here we go. Uh-oh. Okay, so you can see the jump that I actually did there. I did a double jump by accident. That is one of the things that could have completely knocked me out there. So I'm just going to regain my position, regain my composure. Don't forget, guys and girls, if you do like the video, hit that like, hit that comment and hit that subscribe button. Helps me out a lot. And I hope you enjoy the videos, and I hope the demonstrational purposes are actually useful for you to help you improve your Fall Guys game. We are almost to the end of this video now. And basically it's us against the trash can. Or soda can, whatever you want to call him. Let's see how this plays out. It looks like he's panicking. And there we go, we get the qual.